Hello fellow fish nerds and happy 15th day of the February fish vlogs. Day 15 in February means we're more than halfway through. And I already have some content recorded, some ideas for new content, and the rest I'm sure I'll be able to wing it and figure it out on the fly. So it looks like we're going to make it. It's been a pretty awesome, interesting experience. I've learned a lot how to streamline the process, make it faster, more efficient as far as recording and uploading and editing. It's been tiring because most of my videos I record at night, all of them I upload and edit at night after the kids have gone to bed and before I get too tired and fall asleep. One night I actually did fall asleep by accident and woke up at 3 in the morning and edited for an hour and went back to sleep again. That was a rough night. It's been fun because I've enjoyed quite a few of the videos that I've made and learned, hey, maybe that video wasn't really the best idea as what I had in my head at first. So anyways, tonight's video is one that I've been thinking about for over a year. I've been pondering and trying to figure out how could I make a video that is educational, obviously science-based. I mean, that is my channel name, MrScienceGeek. Possibly entertaining and or related to fish content. And this concern and drive for making educational science, possibly fish related content, was confirmed on Tuesday night when I was in a live stream. I think it was Monster Fish Aquarium's live stream. And there were two people in the chat in particular that stuck out to me and that confirmed my goal and my plan for this content, and that was Fish Tropic and the Bearski method. And the Bearski method, one thing he said was, well, we could always use more science, which I agree with him. And Fish Tropic said, well, why don't you make some more science videos, science experiments? And I was like, yeah, I would like to. I just need to figure out how to do that. So that's the difficult part, how to make science videos that are possibly entertaining and or fish related. So kind of just put it on the back burner in my brain for 2 nights but then Thursday morning I was driving into work and the sun was in my eyes and I got out of the car and it clicked. Hey, the sun's in my eyes. That's radiation from the sun. Radiation is the main process responsible for the heating of the atmosphere, which is what I've been teaching my students for the past week. I already recorded another process by accident on Wednesday while I was doing a water change. I thought, hey, I have that. I've got the sun in my eyes. I can go get the footage of the other 2 processes and I'll be set. So I did. I had some funny looks from some coworkers and one even made a funny comment, but I explained, like, yeah, that makes sense. It's pretty cool and it was fun. So that's one thing I really like about the video tonight, is that it was fun in a nerdy kind of way. And the best part about it is that I'll be able to use this video to help my students review the content that they've been learning and practicing this week in class. They can use it to study for a quiz or a test, which, by the way, students, if you're watching this, I'm possibly planning on having a quiz next week and possibly a test in 2 weeks. But don't worry, I'll talk about it in class, so don't worry about that. So, I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something, and it is fish related. So, stay tuned until after the intro. See you on the other side.
It's Mr. Science Geek. I hope my tanks don't leak. If it's information that you seek, be sure to tune in each week. And my videos take a peek. My singing and my jokes really read. Alright, so first we have radiation, which is the process that makes all of hitting the atmosphere possible and makes all weather possible. It is a type of heat transfer that does not require contact. Instead, it heats through the use of the electromagnetic spectrum, in this case, visible light from the sun. As you see on this chart of electromagnetic spectrum, the visible light spectrum is just that tiny narrow band of color towards the center. Now, towards the far right is the long radio waves, which is very slow, and the far left is the more dangerous end of gamma rays. And as you see, visible light's right in the middle, and that's what we're seeing here. The sun heating up the atmosphere, making other processes possible, making weather possible, making the greenhouse effect possible, convection and conduction also possible.
It's a really bright sun. It's the radiation. Ah, the atmosphere. The atmosphere. Ah. But yeah, this is the source of all of it. It's the sun's radiation. Alright, next. Greenhouse effect.
So, first thing you see is the sun's rays shining into the greenhouse, making it all possible. The greenhouse effect is when the sun's light or radiation goes through the atmosphere, or in this case, a greenhouse, can also be in your car in the summertime, and heat gets trapped inside. Light comes in, light can go out, but heat gets trapped inside. This happens in the atmosphere, this happens in a greenhouse. A greenhouse is trying to recreate what happens in the atmosphere. So, I get into our greenhouse at our school. It's a working greenhouse. Students working in it most days that it's, somewhat reasonable outside. Even when it's freezing cold, it is really warm in this greenhouse, which makes the growing of these tomato plants possible. This is the aquaponic system of what you see here is the tilapia. I'll get a little bit better view right here. You see the tilapia swimming around there. Quite happy. You wouldn't believe that it's honestly, this was recorded on Valentine's Day, February 14th, and February is usually one of the colder months in Virginia, and these fish are doing just fine. Now, yes, there is a heater in this tub for the fish, but still, it doesn't have to work as hard because the greenhouse is keeping the heat trapped inside. Okay, there are the aquaponic tubs. There are the working trays. You see the sunlight coming in, the heat being trapped in. It cannot get out. It's what helps to extend the growing season. There are vents that turn on if it does get too warm in there, which it does in early spring and obviously late spring and summer. Once again, you see the tilapia in this tub. That white bucket is an overflow and a filter system. But so, conduction is the heat through contact. This heater is in contact with the water. This is why you burn your feet in the hot sand of the beach in the summertime. It's how we cook food on a stove. This heater is in contact with the water. The heated water will rise towards the top of the fish tank or a pond in real life, and the cooler water will sink, which then gets heated and then will rise again. Now, this is why I put my heaters horizontal towards the bottom of my fish tanks to heat the cooler water towards the bottom and allowing convection to happen through conduction, contact with the water. What you see here is convection. Warm air or water rises and cold air or water sinks. This is what you see when you look across a hot parking lot in the summertime and see those wavy rays rising off of cars. In this case, I was doing a water change. What you see coming up out of the PVC pipe is new water from out of the sink and a little bit of oxygen bubbles. You see that wavy line? The the waviness is the warmer water of the old water, warmer water rising, and the cooler new water sinking. Convection. Now, what you'll also see is the little oxygen bubbles, and that kind of makes the visual a little bit easier. And it's showing right here the cooler water is sinking thanks to convection. Hope you learned something. Stay tuned, stay fishy, people.